Well, welcome to night 7. Today we're going to be talking about how we're going to continue further on with the project. Now, this time around, as mentioned, I was going to get the Geneva Drive working, or at least a proof of concept. So here we have a 3D printed version. So as you can see, if I move a little closer, you can rotate the wheel like so. And as this wheel on the left, your left, rotates once, the other wheel rotates 1/4 of the way there, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty nifty. It worked out. The other thing I made was a test to see how I could make a linkage, a really flat one for the hand. Now, I made some problems with the linkage that I did not see it beforehand. This bar is supposed to stay flat like so, like grounded to my hand, while this short linkage over here, or this link, should rotate around freely, except it gets stuck because some of the bars are too close to each other, and the pivots themselves, or whatever I use to keep the two ends together, those stick out a bit too much. So I'm going to need a little bit more planning. But this is still a proof of concept of about, or to approximate the range that this will move. So if you were to fix a hand on this point over here, and then you rotate this linkage over here, or more specifically this pivot over here, so if you rotate that, you could get a hand to move. Now, I did not sculpt or design a hand yet, but I did sketch out a little thing here, like so. Okay, so I flipped it all around, but you're going to have something like this. So if you imagine a line of dominoes right here, we could have the hand go up to it and then tip the whole thing, and then this whole thing rotates back down like so, and the hand comes back a second time, so on and so forth. Now this bar is not supposed to go back and forth like this. It's actually supposed to go round and round constantly. It's just I couldn't do that now, but I will in a future build. But I think that's pretty much that in terms of progress. Oh, before I go, there'll be references down below to the different resources and YouTube videos that I referred to make those objects. This one I pretty much did in my head, but this guy came from a tutorial on YouTube, so I'm going to link to that down in the description below. And also, the pivots are a bit interesting. So actually I do want to show you the pivots. Currently I use Fusion 360 for most of my 3D modeling. One, because it's free, and two, because it's actually very decent for a modeling software, because it already exports in the inaccurate measurements, and when you put that into a Prusa slicer 2.0, I believe, it will print out or make a file that matches exactly the real world dimensions that you put. Anyways, the thing I wanted to highlight with Fusion 360 is that it's very easy to make threads, in particular screw threads. If I can show you there. You can basically specify standard screw threads, in this case metric ones, M4, and then any of the other ones. In this case, M4 means a 4 diameter screw. You can define that, and then also what I call the nut, or the thing that goes around the screw thread. And you just have to screw these two pieces together. So you're able to just screw that in like so. And it's pretty tight, and you can tighten it as well. So it's pretty snug and it's not too bad. Now typically you'd want these things to be nice and round, but that would make it very difficult to tighten. So that's why I have them as square. But that's pretty much that. I hope I added or showed you something interesting today. I'm quite interested as more and more parts and mechanisms are being fully realized, and hopefully I'll be able to mush it all together into one single hand-cranked machine. Fingers crossed. Have a good night.